Hey, 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 hey. Made it. Made it just in time. Hey, 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 hey. Made it. Yeah, audio is good. Yeah, audio is fine. You have no other background audios coming out. Unlike what happened last time out when I accidentally was broadcasting the actual broadcast of the GP. Uh, where are we in the broadcast? Right now, where are we live? The anthem has just started, so we have about five-ish minutes, maybe a bit more, to the lights going out. I think this is better. So, quick news. Yesterday, it was pointed out to me that BEZZZ does have a grid penalty. It is true. BEZZZ has a two-place grid penalty. He drops down to the second row. Luca Marini drops to P11 from P9. These two have a two-place grid penalty each. Marc Marquez has a long lap penalty that he needs to serve. I think he'll have to serve it within the first 3 laps of the race because he knows heading into the race that he's having a penalty. So within the first 3 laps of the race, he's going to have to serve that long lap. Pedro Acosta was under investigation for low tire pressure yesterday. He was given an 8-second time penalty for the sprint yesterday. So he ended up losing out on the podium yesterday. And Enea Bastianini was promoted to P3 because of Pedro's misfortune. Um, that is all the news that I have. So I thought I would delay showing up, and we've delayed it just about right. We're in Texas, so you've got Black Hawks doing tricks, dive bombs that they're doing. The drivers are just coming off from the stage where the national anthem was sung at the top of the grid. It's gonna be a tense one. It's gonna be a tense one. If yesterday's sprint is anything to go by, today's race is going to be tense. It's going to be hot. It's going to be long. There's going to be a lot of incidents, a lot of time managements. I'm given to understand that everyone is starting on mediums front and rear. No one is going to risk with the softs. Mm, yeah. So everyone is just heading back to the bikes. Anthem is done. We've got a couple of minutes to lights out, couple of minutes the to the race beginning. I managed to regain some brain cells, by the way. I slept for about, I want to say, 6 hours continuous, and then in and out of the sleep realm. I managed to regain some brain cells. Hopefully, this will be a better life compared to the mess I made in the Japan live, the Japan GP live. Who's your shot? I have a poll going in the comment section. Who is your shot to win? I think Marc has a shot from P6. He will get a good launch off the line, and even if he doesn't make it into the top three right off the line, it's the main race. You've got more time, you've got more laps to gain positions. With regards to Pecco, let's see. Pecco has been promoted to the front row because of Bezzecchi's penalty. It's Digi, Acosta, and Pecco starting on the front row. Let's see what happens between them. I think Acosta, I can't recall him being I can't recall him getting off to those flying starts. Hopefully, fortune favors him. What's going on? I'm getting some audio mixes. Why? There we go. I was wondering what the heck's going on. Let me mess around with some things while I have a couple of minutes. So Michelin have brought some new tires. I don't know if anyone follows Michelin Tire Talk or MotoGP Tire Talk to be specific. It seems that they're trying out a new compound this weekend. The assumption is it should be of use. Who knows? Who knows? I don't follow MotoGP Tire Talk. Track temperature is 40 degrees. It's hot. It's hot for these tires. Where is this? Just fine tuning some setups. BEZZZ is under pressure, man. BEZZZ crashed out 2 GPs. He crashed out. Just finally got the stream working. There's a whole lot of variabilities I don't like. Whole lot of variabilities I don't like. Okay. Right. DG has a special livery going on for today's race. A special American livery. A whole lot of teams celebrating the whole Texas lifestyle, Texan lifestyle. We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to 2 minutes to what's it called? Formation lab. What are all these ads, man? I was watching MotoGP, Moto2, and nothing was happening. Everything was calm. The minute I click live and the broadcast shifts to MotoGP, a whole bunch of ads and new things are popping up. It's quite irritating. Cue the song. Yep, song is a go. Who do you think? Who do you think? There's a poll going on in the chat. Who do you think wins this? I think the King of Kota. I think the King of Kota retains his title. Missed out on his title last year. Crashed out in the main race. In the sprint this year, he crashed out as well. For that, he has a long lap penalty. That's one thing to remember. Even if he has a flyer off the line, if let's say into turn 1 he leads, on the exit of turn 1 he still leads, and he's kept it on track. He's kept it in boundaries of track limits. Then he still has that penalty of that long lap. So if he leads, he's going to wait. Either way, I think he has to wait until the third lap, get the field to spread out a bit, rather than doing it on your first lap and losing chunk of positions because everyone will be bunched up early on. Digi starts on pole. Pecco P2, P3 and P2 between the two Ducatis is a KTM of Pedro Acosta. Oh, I think Marc has the best line. Marc's line is on the inside into turn one, and he's on the second row, right behind Pecco Bagnaia. I think Marc has the best shot of leading into turn one. He just needs to get off the line well. He can't afford wheel spin, not in the early stages, not in the latter stages of acceleration. Formation lap is a go. Coming through turn one, some of them through the S's already. Track track temperature is 43 degrees. Wind is about 8, saying 4 miles, not sure. Oh, tires are gonna be a huge part in this race. If you're aggressive early on, you risk just plummeting, plummeting like a rock in water towards the end. Coming through turn 11, coming through turn 11, down the back straight, into the heavy braking. Get your lines right, figure out what you want to do, in these opening exchanges. Oh boy, I'm getting so nervous. The iconic Kota Tower. I don't know why they decided to add that tower as a feature on the circuit, but it looks cool. You can pretty much see the whole track from up there. What do you think Marc's gonna do? If he has a poor start, what do you think he's gonna do? Is he going to start riding off the line with red mist? I don't think so. It doesn't make sense to have red mist this early on. Maybe after mid-race, if someone pisses him off and he starts riding angry, then that'll be fine. Can't start riding angry from the get-go. Right, all the bikes are on the grid. All the bikes on the grid. Red flag. Everyone is holding station. Green flag is a go. Where the lights? Let's go, the lights. We have 5 lights on, 5 lights off. It's a good start. Pedro Acosta, good start. Good start from Pedro. Better than both the Ducatis alongside him. Marco Bezzecchi, sort of holding on with Pedro Acosta. Marc Marquez is up into fourth place. Bezzecchi and Martin lead the two factory Ducatis of Marc and Pecco Bagnaia. Digi fell off hugely. He had wheel spin, I think, in the later half of the start. Heading into the S's, Pedro leads. He leads Bez, and Bez leads Jorge. Jorge leads. I'm not sure if it's Pecco. Is it Pecco or Marc? He leads one of the factory Ducatis. Digi dropped from pole to P5. Digi had a poor start. Poor start for Digi. Heading into turn 11, the heavy braking. Bagnaia having a look on Joan Mir. Wide from Marquez as well. Contact down the straight. Jeez, Pedro Acosta almost fell off his bike. Trying to recover, he almost smashed into, well, he did smash into the side of Bezzecchi. And Acosta, with all that chaos that happened, he lost the position, he lost time to Bez, but somehow into the braking of turn 12, he's right on the rear of Bezzecchi as well. And Jorge, in all this, has just gained time. He's clawed back time that he would have lost out early on, clawing through from the pack. Bezzecchi leads Acosta. Acosta leads Jorge. This is your top three. Marc Marquez hanging on into P4, Digi in P5, Pecco in P6. Here comes Digi on Marquez into turn 19 before the final corner. That's a tight pinch. Digi just makes it stick. doesn't have any contact with Marc, and he just makes it stick. Both get through the corner at least cleanly. Marc losing a position from P4 to P5 to Digi into turn one. Marc looking down the inside. He's forcing Digi wide. He does. He's got through well. And these two fighting means that they're losing time, and Pecco behind trying to scoot around the outside of both of them, nothing doing. And so far holding station. Marc ended up having to run wide to check up a bit. Oh, jeez. Here comes Pecco on Marc Marquez on the inside of 10-7. He's made it stick. He's made it stick on Marc. On the inside of 10-7, Marc Marquez with the long lap penalty. He can take it now from lap 2 on. Yellow flags into sector 2. Not sure who binned it. At the front, Acosta is ahead of Jorge and he's attacking BEZZZ. Into 10-11, nothing doing. Heading down the back straight, the top three are the top three. The two Aprilia split by Pedro Acosta. Digi leads Marquez. Marquez leads one of the Hondas. Is it John Mir? John Mir's gone through on Paco Peña. The timing tower is not up to date. Timing tower is not up to date. Don't look at the timing tower. Look at the positions. Oh, this is going to be difficult for Marc. Now he has to take the long lap penalty. It showed up on his dashboard because it showed up on the screen for us. So communication has gone through that he can take the long lap. How far does he push it? Is it the opening lap is an exception and then you can take it on lap 4, or do you have to take it within the first 3 laps of the race? That is the question I have. A whole lot of bodywork flying off of Acosta, I want to say. Oh, yeah. That contact that they had coming out of 10-11 on that opening lap. I don't know what happened with Acosta. He just ran it wide onto the outside curb. And on the cutback, he ended up clobbering the side of BEZZZ. Both of them definitely lost bodywork. One of them lost more than the other, that's for sure. Jorge Martin at this point just needs to bide time. There's a gap split of about 1.3 seconds between Jorge in 3 and Digi in P4. Jorge can take his time, can bide his time. Even if Digi catches up, it's going to take some time to get through. Luca Marini ran wide. So that's why he got ahead of Pecco. That makes sense. That makes sense. So he'll have to give the position back then. He can't keep running ahead of Pecco, but on the live pictures, he's still running ahead of Pecco. On the timing tower, Joan Mir is still behind Pecco. Not sure what's going on. Into 10-12, Acosta closes up on BEZZZ, but nothing doing. He can't show his front wheel to BEZZZ. He can't pull alongside. Marc Marquez not diving for the long lap yet, so I guess next lap. So I guess the first lap is an exception. So first lap plus the 3 lap leeway within which you can take the long lap. So he's going to take it on the 4th lap. He has to. If he doesn't take the long lap, he's going to be given another penalty. So it's not going to play in his hands by any means. There is a field spread happening, so he's going to leave it as late as possible. I wasn't sure if it was on lap 3 or on lap 4. Turns out it's on lap 4 that he has to take the penalty. That's the latest that he can leave it to. Fastest rider, Digi. 2 minutes, 2 seconds and 200s. 2:02.2 for Digi, fastest man on track. Digi is still about a second behind Jorge. Digi is not making impressions into Jorge. Marc, though, has fallen behind. Marc's fallen behind. Pecco is fallen behind Mir as well. So I guess the timing tower wasn't updating. I guess the lead Ducati the whole time was Pecco. I thought it was Marc. I was going off the timing tower. I couldn't tell the difference between the two. I know Marc has the lighter helmet at the back. He's got that cream color going on, but I couldn't tell with the wide angles. It seems Marc's running P7 then. Oh, it's gonna be a tough race for the king of Kota. If he was in P5, then taking the long lap, I I thought maybe he would have had an outside chance of podium for sure. And if he got on the podium, maybe if the guys ahead were busy squabbling, maybe he could have been able to close up the gaps. But he's P7 before the penalty. On this lap, he's going to have to take the long lap penalty. The lead is coming through turn 13. Here comes Marc into turn 13. There's the long lap. There's a whole lot of dust on that extra bit of track. He rejoins just safely. There's this other issue that when you rejoin on the track, if you don't rejoin safely, you can get another penalty for an unsafe rejoin. He just kept it fine, borderline, I would say. 1 second split between Jorge in P3, Digi in P4, and then another 1 second split from Digi in P4 to Pecco in P5. Pecco doesn't have race pace. He doesn't have the pace that he had yesterday to translate into a podium push or even a win push, P1 push. Jorge is overtaken Acosta into turn 1, but he's ran wide under braking. Couldn't control his bike, and Acosta with the cutback regains position on the cutback into the S's. Acosta is about 3 tenths behind BEZZZ. Acosta needs to get BEZZZ involved in the fight with Jorge. Acosta needs to get he needs to be in a fight with both the Aprilias. If he's in a fight with one of them, that Aprilia this season seems to be the more superior bike under turning. And through sector 1, through sector is it 3 or sector 4 where they have those S's? The shorter S's is sector 1, then the longer S's of that penalty loop area coming around to that Kota Tower, that area over there. The Aprilia seems to be the most dominant over there. It's the best underturning. Ducati's second best underturning, but Ducati overall, the package, especially the acceleration, straight line speed that they have, is unmatched, even by Aprilia. Joan Mir has been given a long lap penalty. That would be for overtaking off track. Joan Mir's penalty would be for gaining an advantage off track, most probably. So Marc Marquez has dropped down to P11, having taken the long lap. Oh, jeez. Not sure why Joan Mir wouldn't have just given the position back. Not sure why he wouldn't have just lost out the time. It, that's the lesser of the evil between grabbing a penalty or losing a second. What do? Obviously, you lose a second. You're gonna lose more time with the long lap. You're gonna lose more time with a time penalty. Fastest man right now is BEZZZ. DG at one point was the fastest. It's been he had the fastest lap. Now BEZZZ has the fastest lap. BEZZZ's lost out a lot of rear wings on the tail of the bike. He's lost the rear wing package on the tail of the bike, just above the wheels. Acosta, I'm not sure. We haven't seen a front shot or even a side shot of Acosta. I think he would have lost one of the front wings on the engine cone. Oh, Joan Mir's crashed out. Joan Mir's crashed out. What happened to him? Underturning on the flip-flop from left to right. Ah, the man. You wouldn't believe the luck that Joan Mir has had. You wouldn't believe the stat of crashes that Joan Mir has since signing for Honda. Joan Mir's crashed. He was given the long lap. He didn't even complete it. He crashed out. And he's a non-finisher. Unfortunately for the man. I feel for him because he's had the most non-finishes. And it's not necessarily his fault. It's the bike. The Honda just inherently seems to be just that bad. It's just that bad, that Honda. Uh, what's going on in the field? BEZZZ leads, puts in another fastest lap. Uh, he puts in a 2 minute, 2 second, 2 minute, 2 second, and about a tenth and a half. Jorge's gone wide. Jorge's gone wide into turn one. Gigi's closed up on Jorge. Gigi's been chipping away, and Jorge with two mistakes. The first one when he overtook Acosta, ran wide, had to regroup, and Acosta with the switchback regaining his P2. Last time there, last time just now on braking, he ran wide again. And Gigi's there on his rear tire, coming through 7, through 8, through 9, up through 10 on the flip-flop, carrying the lean angle downhill into the braking of turn 11. Digi, do we have something mounting into turn 12? He's not close enough, Digi. I don't think he's close enough. At the start of the straight, I don't think he's close enough. Even with slipstream, he's not gonna be able to level Jorge. Yeah, nothing doing for Digi on this occasion. So BEZZZ leads Acosta, Acosta leads Jorge, Jorge leads Digi, Digi leads Pecco. Pecco leads Alex Marquez. Alex Marquez is in P6, Agora P7, and Nea Bastianini. Okay, Marquez has just come through, not on Enea. I thought it was on Enea, so I was just pausing for a moment. Enea is in P8. Marquez makes it up to P9. He dropped to, was it P11 or P12 after the long lap penalty? Marquez P9 and Ralph Fernandez P10. Luca Marini, he had a 2-place grid penalty, so he started 11th. He's in 11th. Morera is in 12th. Famin is in 13th. And Brad Binder is in, no, Famin is in 13th, yeah, and Brad Binder is in 14th. Frankie's just hanging on ahead of Quartararo in 16. Quartararo, the lead Yamaha, in 16. And Frankie is in 15th. I think he's the lowest Ducati. Frankie Morbidelli. Most probably he should be the lowest ranking Ducati. We're on lap 8 of lap 20. Lap 8 of lap 20. We have one rider unable to finish the race, and that's Joan Mir. He's crashed out. Replay. Ooh. Replay of Jorge Martin into turn 1. Braking. Ooh. Under braking, it seems the front tire was just about to wash out under braking, and he had to lift the bike up. He just had to help the bike get back up, get some grip back underneath the tires. Tell you what, Bagnaia is not able to overtake Digi. Bagnaia is not able to overtake Digi, and Digi is not able to overtake Jorge. Not able to overtake Jorge. Previous laps, 2:9:25 and 2:2:96. Pecco's faster than Digi at this point. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Pecco finally, though, I will say this weekend, he's at least able to stick it with the top riders. He's not in the lower. Okay, he's held it well. He's held it well under the flip-flop of the S's. I will say Pecco this weekend at least, he's been able to hold it well hang in there with the top riders. It's not been like previous races where he's fighting for the lower end of the top 10. The gap between Bez and Acosta has gone to over a second. Gap is over a second between Bez and Acosta. That means Bez is most likely to win then from here. Bez just doesn't need to do anything dramatic. Alex Marquez fighting with Ayagura for P6. Down the straight, almost side by side into braking. Ayagura is ahead on the inside line. Ayagura is looking strong, eh? Ayagura, I think normally he's finishing around that P6, P5, P7 positions. He's looking good. He's looking like best of the rest, Ayagura. So we're on the start of lap 10 with Ayagura setting the fastest time. A 2:02 flat. A 2:02 flat. 2-minute 2 flat. Jeez, Ayagura. Ayagura's gone about almost 6 tenths faster than uh, what's his name, Pecco, on the previous lap. 6 tenths faster than Pecco on the previous lap, with half race distance to go. Bike looks good, by the way. It looks calm. It looks planted. The problem with a track like Kota is that Formula One shares the same track with MotoGP. So those cars, they have a wider surface area and they have a whole lot more downforce than the two-wheeled machines. So what happens is on the surface they end up creating some divots, especially into the braking zone. They end up causing some depressions in the tarmac. It's not, maybe you won't feel it as much in the car, but on two wheels you just see them when they have lean angle. Just see how much they're shaking on the bike, or even in just braking zones generally. Just have a look at uh they're trying to avoid the what's it called, they're trying to avoid the bumps, so their lines are not normally where the F1 cars would place their wheels. What's going on? People are playing games, man. Lap 11. At the start of lap 11, positions are as is. There is a response though from BEZZZ. I was listening to the commentary. They were saying Pedro is now pushing for BEZZZ, but BEZZZ, that gap came down under a second, and he's pulled it up to over a second again. BEZZZ is just maintaining a gap. He's not overdriving. He's not overcooking his tires to create a huge gap. He's just maintaining it at around a second. BEZZZ he's had his moments in qualifying in the sprints where he would be the favorite, but then he would go and bin it and throw points away, throw podiums away. But come Sunday GP, he's managed to hook everything together for as long as he needs to, and he's able to be the fastest man on track. Ayagura is the fastest man on track apart from BEZZZ, and Ayagura is running in traffic. Ayagura is on the rear tire of Pecco in P5. Here's Ayagura showing his front wheel into turn 19. He was quite a long way back. Ayagura makes it stick into turn 19, coming out of that long turn 18, 17 right-handers. And he's already capping Bagnaia. Jeez. Bagnaia he was in no position to respond to Ayagura, not into turn one, not on the pit straight. Bagnaia had already lost a lot of time, a lot of bike lengths to Ayagura coming out the final corner. If Ayagura keeps going this way, he's getting a podium for sure. He's getting a podium for sure. He's just cutting. By the end of in one lap, he's overtaken Pecco, and by the end of it, he's going to be pressuring DJ. Get a look at that. Into what is that? Turn 11, right? Into turn 11, he's already on the rear tire of DJ. Ayagura has. What is Ayagura on? Is he on some steroids or something? What has he done to his tires? He's not managing, he's just pushing. He's clawing time on time on time. Jeez. Ayagura, by the way, if you don't know, he's riding an Aprilia. He's riding an Aprilia, and with this track where you have two sections that are a lot, well, one section heavily a flip-flop section, and one section carrying where you need to carry speed through a lot of longer corners. That Aprilia is the bike to be on. Into turn 19, Ayagura is on his rear tires. Ayagura onto the pit straight. Oh, it's 3/10 to Ayagura and DJ for this is the fight for P4. This is the fight for P4 between Ayagura and DJ. DJ just somewhat keeping that gap of about 3 seconds. It's touch and go for DJ. He's not completely keeping Ayagura at bay, and he's not completely giving his position up to Ayagura. Let's see the split into sector one. It's almost the same lap times. Just 26 hundredths between the two into sector one. The gap between them was 3/10 at the top of this lap. The graphic that we have is going to show us the sector splits for this whole lap, and then we'll see at the end of the lap overall if it's a net gain or net loss for Ayagura. Ayagura has gained 1.5 tenths into turn 12. He's showing his front wheel on the inside. Does he make it stick without contact? Oh, jeez. Did you just made it without contact? DJ held his nerve so tight. Ayagura didn't flinch. Ayagura didn't care that DJ was there. Ayagura never bothered with DJ. He focused on his line. Eyes focused on what he wants his bike to do, how wide he wants his bike to go. And Ayagura almost threading that thing a needle. That's how precise Ayagura was. Ayagura, first opportunity he had to attack Digi, and he's gone through on Digi. He's into P4. Pedro Acosta's run wide. Pedro's run wide into the braking of turn one. Martin with the cutback, and Martin's got position on Pedro. Pedro's holding on to Martin though. He's holding on to Martin through the flip-flop of sector 1, through the S's. Coming through 6 into 7. Pedro's holding close. Pedro's holding close. Through 8. Through 9. Coming up to turn. Up through 10. Pedro's holding on. Pedro's holding on to Jorge. He's not overtaking into 10-11. He's going to mount it for 10-12. Get acceleration. Better acceleration out. Create that V shape out the corner. Get better acceleration down the straight. Close up the gap into the braking zone and just level him. In the braking, Jorge has enough bike lengths. He's not under pressure. He has enough bike lengths to play with. Ayagura right there between these two. He's coming. Ayagura's coming for these two. Yeah, Pedro Acosta ran wide into turn 1. Didn't even make the apex. He ran into the middle line of the track. Which KTM is this? This is Enea. Enea is behind Alex Marquez. He's under pressure from Marc Marquez. And in front of Alex Marquez is Bagnaia. Marquez has 3 bikes he can eye up. All of them within touching distance of each other. There's a gap of now 2 seconds between Digi in P5 and Pecco in P6. Bagnaia is leading a train of Enea, Alex, and Marc Marquez. The two Aprilias lead the whole field in P1 and P2. Acosta P3, Ayagura P4, Digi P5. And then 2 seconds back is Pecco, who's leading this field, who's leading this pack. Oh, brother on brother. Marc just shoved Alex through. Oh, jeez. Mounted the curb on the inside and pushes his brother wide. Marc's now on the back of Enea. Into the braking zone of 10-11. He's almost put his front wheel in line with Enea's rear wheel. Now heading down that back straight. He's got more power. He's leveled him under braking. Leveled him under braking. There we go. Marc's got the position on Enea. Whoa, what happened with Ayagura? Oh, that was Ayagura running wide. I thought that was someone else. On the wide shot of the entry into turn 12, we saw the bike on the red marked strips at the edge of the track. That's Ayagura. I'm not sure what's going on. Probably an issue with the bike. There's no smoke, so nothing with the engine, no hydraulic leaks. It's probably something electrical then. Jeez, Ayagura. Coming out of 10-11 between this pack, yeah. As soon as he got out of 10-11, sounds like something's sticking. They just played the onboard. I was trying to listen in to the sound. Again, I'm not an expert, but it sounds like something was sticking. Something was suppressing the engine from giving more power, more pace. Technical issue forces Ayagura to retire on lap 16. Oh, and Bagnaia is under pressure from Marc now. Marc got through on Alex and Enea. Oh, he's going off the track. Bagnaia doesn't have track grip. Marc's ran wide into the braking of 10-11, and Pecco with the cutback maintains position ahead of Marc into the braking zone. Marc's definitely going to level him. But yeah, later braking, he runs wide. He's kept it on track. He's still kept it ahead of Marc, just somehow. Banya is struggling. Banya is struggling. He has some issue. I don't know if it's tire grip or what, but Banya is having an issue. He's slow. He's slower than Marc. He's slower than Anea. Marc's pushing Pecco along. He's chomping at the bits of Pecco's rear tire. Anea from nowhere. And Marc's trying to set the pass up on Pecco, and Anea's just ignored all caution and chucked it down the inside into turn 19. The two left-handers before the pit straight, Anea's just chucked it on the inside, and he's thrown off Marc. He's thrown Marc off his game. Marc trying to set it up on Pecco, taking too much time to Anea's liking. Marc was just thinking of mounting something into turn 19, into turn 20, and Anea just threw his bike, threw that KTM, made it stick, didn't run wide, didn't force Marc to compromise his line. Oh, into the S's, Marc. Marc lost his rear. Jeez, into the S's, trying to overtake Anea. Marc almost losing his rear tire. Jeez. Yeah. It's probably going over the bumps, into that S's section, coming out of it, going over the bumps on lean angle, especially when you're giving gas, trying to overtake someone. Your tire skips over the track. That's why he nearly lost his rear tire. Marc had the position on Anea. Into the braking, he still had position of turn 11, but then in the braking of turn 12, Aeneas gone through. Aeneas leveled Marc and gone through. And then Aeneas ran wide and given the position back to Marc. Aeneas given the position back to Marc. It seems Pecco's managing some issue, and both Marc and Aeneas are just losing time to Bagnaia. They're just losing time to Pecco between their squabbles. They should overtake Pecco first and then squabble as much as they want. Coming onto the pit straight with 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go from here. There's a gap of 1 second between Bez and Martin, gap of a second and 8 tenths between Martin and Acosta, and a gap between Acosta and DJ as well. DJ not pressuring Acosta. Oh, jeez. Through the S's, Marc lining it up on Pecco. Oh, Pecco's been thrown offline, and Nea chucks his front wheel into Pecco's path. Just makes it. Jeez, man, this action is so fast-paced. Pecco losing positions in the SS section to Marc Marquez and Anea. Marc set it up into the right-hander. Pecco tried to cover it, and then into the left-hander. Marc just pushed Pecco wide. And then having Pecco go offline, and Nea just capitalized and never waited for a second invitation. Bastianini has pace. The problem is there's huge splits between the riders ahead. So even if Enea gets through on Marc, he's not gonna gain about 2 seconds, about 3 seconds on Digi. It's not happening. So best these guys can do is P5, P6. That is what they're fighting for. Jorge Martin though is bringing down the gap to under a second between him and Bez. That gap's coming down to under a second. 2 laps to go. Gap is 8.5 tenths. 8.5 tenths gap between Jorge and BEZZZ. BEZZZ leads Jorge. Pedro is in no man's land. He's not under pressure from DG behind him. Pedro's almost solidified his position at P3, same as Digi. Digi is not in. He's not in a position where he can be overtaken by Marc as well. That gap is about 3 seconds between Digi in P4 and Marc in P5. In the first sector, BEZZZ gaining time, increasing that gap to about 3 tenths, gaining 3 tenths, increasing that gap to about a second and tenth and a half. Here comes the end of sector 2 split. No, we're seeing the fight of Pecco and Alex. Pecco, I don't know, his tires is finished. His tires are finished. The next bike would be Raul Fernandez behind Pecco. He's a bit further back, but with the struggle that Pecco's having, you wouldn't count Raul out of that fight with Pecco. Looking further back, Toprak is the lead Yamaha in P15. He's overtaken Quartararo for P15. Yeah, that gap is at a second and 3 tenths between and Jorge. The battle is for P5. Battle is for P5. We're on the last lap. Coming out the final corner, last lap, we are on it. Bastianini eyeing up Marc Marquez for P5. Enea's pushing Marc along, man. Enea's pushing Marc along the whole time. He's been pressuring Marc for the last 2 laps or so. Into the flip-flop, both in synchronization. Both in touching distance of each other. Enea's hanging as wide as he can to turn that bike under him. Hanging onto the back of Marc's rear tire. Up the crest of 10. Down into the braking of 11. What's happening in 11? Nothing happening. Marc's defending the inside line. Marc's got the lead into turn 11 on the exit. Enea's gonna get slipstream. 1.5 seconds the gap between BEZZZ and Jorge. That's fixed. Your podium is fixed. BEZZZ P1, Martin P2, Acosta P3. That's more or less fixed. I want to see the fight between Enea and Marc Marquez. I guess Marc has held on. BEZZZ's gotten to turn 18 to turn 17. So Marc would have held on into the braking of turn 12. Coming into the final corner. BEZZZ smoked them all. BEZZZ wins the USGP. Once he got into clean air, no one could hold a candle to him. BEZZZ dominating this season. BEZZZ is a favorite for the title contention. Marc Marquez, you can never count him out. You'll never know from where he'll have that comeback. Jorge Martin, known to have a comeback of sorts when it comes to championships on the line. Pecco Bagnaia getting passed by Luca Marini just over the line, or is it on the last lap somewhere there? Pecco finishes P10. Jeez, Pecco. Massimo has been bullied by his team. Aprilia have turned up with a racing machine, man. First rider to win 5 continuous Grand Prix when leading every lap in the modern era. He got the lead into turn 1, lap 1, and since then no one was close to him. BEZZZ is the rider to beat, man. BEZZZ is the rider to beat. Marco BEZZZ. Third rider to win 5 continuous Grand Prix in the modern era after Rossi and Marquez. Most consecutive wins. Marc's got 10 consecutive. Valentino's got 7. Marc's also got 7. Valentino has 5 consecutive wins, 2 different occasions. Marc has 5 consecutive wins, 2 different occasions. And BEZZZ joins that list. BEZZZ joins that list. BEZZZ is the top rider of the field at the moment. Marc Marquez not far behind. Jorge Martin not far behind. Jorge Martin last weekend, this weekend, tasting podium champagne after a year that was basically written off from his racing career. BEZZZ leads the championship by 81 points. Jorge Martin is in P2 with 77 points. Pedro Acosta with 60 points and Fabio Di Giannantonio with 50 points. Not sure what happened with the Ducatis, especially Digi. He was in battles and he was losing time, but it seemed that he couldn't carry the race pace that Jorge had at one point, that Acosta had at one point. Not the best of race paces for the Ducatis. Podiums without a win. Most podiums without a win. Pedro Acosta, 12 podiums. 12 podiums without a race win. Marc started 6th, dropped to 11th with the long lap, recovered to finish 5th. Everyone needs a break, man. It was hot track temperatures. It's a physical track, by the way. You're carrying your bike through the flip-flops, and then in sector 1 and then around sector 3, 4, you've got the long corners. It's a physical track, this one. You have decent breathing room though, but still physicality that is involved in maneuvering those bikes. Bastianini, man, 2 standout overtakes. One is in turn 19 on Marquez, where he didn't need a second invitation and he just chucked it on the inside. He didn't need a second invitation on that occasion. He just chucked it on the inside when Marc was lining up the overtake on Pecco. Jeez, man, you need some serious bravery to pull off a move like that. His second occasion was around, which turn would that be? I want to say around turn 5 and 6, somewhere there, where Pecco where into the right hander leading up to it, I think of turn 4 or 5. On the right hander, Pecco was leading, and Marc made an intent on the inside on the right hander. Pecco trying to defend that, and then Marc switched it to the left hander and overtook. Pecco running wide, and then Enea, because Pecco ran wide, he had to cut back sharply. Enea on Pecco's line cutting back, Enea just swerving his way through on Pecco Bagnaia. That was tight racing. Another, let's not forget to mention, what's his name? Ayagura. Who did he send it on? He sent it on Digi, I think. into that heavy braking of turn 12 after the back straight. That heavy braking of turn 12, Ayagura basically was mounting his bike onto the curb, and Digi was just there or thereabouts, and they just managed to scrape through without any contact, without leaning on each other. And Ayagura was so calm, never twitched, never even bothered to see where Digi placed his bike. He knew he was getting through. There was an Ayagura size gap, and he made it stick. So 3 outstanding overtakes for me in this race. Let's run down the results real quickly. Let's run down the results. What is this? 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah. The results: BEZZZ wins the Kota GP, the GP of the Americas. He leads his teammate Jorge Martin by 2 seconds over the line. He ended up extending that gap by a second on that last lap or so. He gained a lot of time. He gained, I think, half a second or more on that final lap to Jorge. Aprilia domination. Aprilia domination with the package that they rocked up with in Buriram. You expected this to happen, but then also let's not forget the Ducatis. They've just been having horrid weekends. And when I say that, I particularly mean Marc Marquez, because Pecco has been having horrid weekends. It's not new. But what was new with Pecco is yesterday during the sprint, he was carrying good race pace. Didn't translate so much into the main GP. Marc Marquez has always been thereabouts in the front. But this weekend, especially, he started with a penalty, knowing he had a penalty. So tough one for Marc. Digi didn't have race pace at all. I thought Digi would have at least recouped up to the podium places, if not the P1 place. But he didn't have any pace, not even to mount a challenge on Pedro Acosta. Acosta was in no man's land. Acosta was in no man's land. I said this, was it yesterday or one of the MotoGP lives? I said it. Pedro, he manages to place his bike performance-wise in no man's land, where he can't push forward, can't push backwards. So I mean, he can't fall backwards. So it's a good result for Pedro. Pedro is still thereabouts in the fight. It's still early on. It's only been 3 rounds in the championship. So Pedro is still holding on tight. He got a podium, so good for him. Get champagne, but he would have liked the win. He's got 12 podiums without a win, and they popped out a list. Pedro tied with someone called Colin. I'm not familiar with that name. These two have the most podiums without a race win. Digi didn't have race pace. Marquez fought well. With the penalty, he had dropped to 11, finished P5. He had good race pace, but ran short on time to make an impression at the top. He was 8 seconds behind. So yeah, it's just one of those, man. When you have a penalty, what more can you do, right? You just salvage what you can. And yeah, Bastianini, great late on race pace. Earlier on, he does seem to struggle a bit, but then in the later stages of the race, he just turns that bike on. I was trying to get that snap proper. We saw it with Grisini when he was in Grisini a couple of seasons ago. He would have some decent qualifyings, some out of position qualifyings, but the mid to late race pace that Enea Bastianini has, no one else can match him. Though today Ayagura was looking good, race pace wise, until he had the technical issue. Alex Marquez again, that Grisini, that package. I'm not sure if it's capable of fighting at the top end, capable of fighting for podiums, but it is there or thereabouts around P7, P8, P9, P10. That's where that Gazini package sits, unfortunately. Uh, Ralph Fernandez got through on Paco, but surprisingly for me, Luca Marini also got through on Paco. It was on the final lap. Not sure if it was in the final moments towards the checkered flag or what, but yeah, the gap between the two is about a second. So if you look at the lap times that Pecco was producing, I can completely believe that he lost that in a couple of corners. I can also completely believe that he lost that over a full course of a lap. So Pecco's race has just been so up and down, man. Regarding his race pace, especially his tires, I think his tires just gave up more than anything else. He probably overcooked his rear tire, and then he couldn't cool it down enough to regain some grip. So he just kept falling back. Fermin Aldeguer, he made a comment to one of the interviewers that he's still not 100% fit. I've been mentioning this since the Brazil weekend, that the kid is on a bike and he's able to pull out a result. He's able to finish races. I think that's more than what you could ask for from him. He's not in a position where he can go full tilt, 100% push. He still needs to recover. It's going to take him some rounds to recover, and especially with the strain that the body goes under during the sessions, that recovery is not going to be instant. Brad Bender, he just doesn't have pace. Brad Bender with Acosta is his teammate, eh? And Brad Bender is so far down, and Acosta is finishing towards the podiums places or on the podium places. I'm not sure what's going on, Brad Bender. I thought Brad and Acosta as a pairing would have been like magic, but it's not translating to that. Is it Diego or Danny Morera? Morera is doing decently. He's doing decently with the fight at the back. He leads that. He leads a Ducati as well of Frankie Morbidelli. I think Frankie's days in MotoGP are over, man. I think this is probably his last season. But he's riding for Valentino, and they are good friends. So who knows? Maybe he will ride next year as well. But I think this season is done and dusted for Frankie Morbidelli. Uh, Top Rank leads the fight of the Yamahas. The factory Yamahas got overtaken by the satellite Yamahas in Jack Miller and Toprak. Quartararo leads his teammate Alex Rins, but the positions P 15, 16, 17, and 18, that's where Yamaha are. Who's else? Who's Joan Zarco. Yeah, that bike doesn't have pace. Ayogura unfortunately had that technical issue. It seemed that the engine just wasn't giving speed. The commentator mentioned we've reconnected, right? Tell me we've reconnected. Tell me it's not ended. Yeah, we have reconnected. Thank freaking. Okay, so that was the whole GP. John Mayer, unfortunately, one more DNF for the man. Hope he gets a break, man. Hope he gets a break. It's been a terrible day for me. Got so caught up with personal stuff, study related stuff, and then lack of sleep. Haven't slept in 24 hours. Well, I did sleep after the Formula One stream, but that was a terrible stream. This one, feel more relaxed. Feel like I gained a few more brain cells. Yeah, this is it. What's next? IPL. I need to figure out something about IPL. Most probably I will do shorter streams, maybe 30-minute streams or so, and we will talk about IPL during the day. I can't do watch-alongs with IPL. It's uh, it's messing up my whole schedule. So that's it for the time being. Not sure when the next F1 race is. I think we have now the break, 6 week break. MotoGP, I'm not too sure as well. But I will be back in a couple of days for IPL. Midday streams we will do post match. We'll do match reviews of what happened in the match the night before. Why things happened that way, who should have won, who shouldn't have won. And yeah, give me a couple of days, let me reset some stuff, and then I will be back on this channel. For now, remember to like, remember to subscribe, leave comments. Let's build this channel. See you in the next one.